What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the internet where your cesspool is my jacuzzi. My name is Lauren Neidigh, and this is the Court of Random Opinion. I know what you're thinking. It's been about 20 minutes since you last saw my face. And the reason I took a break and came back was we started skimming over this document, the lawsuit from Stephanie Jones and Jonesworks, against Jennifer Abel, Melissa Nathan, Justin Baldoni, and Wayfair Studios. And then they listed some John Does 1 through 10, whoever that is. And I started skimming through it because I was like, I'm sure there's going to be a few interesting points in here. And then I realized, oh my God, this is actually insane. Some of you might have seen these texts before, but I never had. And I immediately had some thoughts about it. Jennifer Abel, you guys know, is one of Justin's PR people. And I've got some people in the chat, saying she's a good guy, whatever, and she may be a good guy pertaining to like Justin versus Blake. However, when I started to read this document, I realized like she made a really, really bad mistake in not separating her personal phone number from her work phone number, because she had some pretty critical things to say about Justin, which have now made their way into a court document. And I'm not saying that makes Justin a bad guy or anything like that, but I'm saying you absolutely should not use your work phone number to say bad things about somebody, especially knowing, like, in the context of these messages, you had to know there was a potential for something to go very wrong. And that was just a massively stupid decision, in my opinion. And we're going to get into it. I'm going to skim through the first part, which we already read, and we're going to go through the whole document. It is only about 52 or 53 pages, and most of it's screenshots from what we've seen so far, so it won't take 5 hours. Don't worry. But I am up way past my bedtime. It is 12:13 here. It is officially Monday. It's officially Monday. So thank you, Jennifer Abel, for starting my Monday off sour. I mean, Mondays aren't usually great, but also I just wanted to give a quick shout out to Mr. Lord. Thank you for becoming a YouTube member. I appreciate you. I got some members only videos you can go check out on the channel, including a recent one where my little sister took control of my computer and told some, unfortunately, 100% true stories about me. So give me 1 second. I'm going to set this up, and then we'll get going, okay? All right, so we're going to skim through this first part because there's not much here to see. But like I said, before we get into these messages, I just want to reiterate, this does not mean that Justin did anything wrong. It doesn't show that he did anything wrong, but it does, unfortunately, I think, look bad for him in the sense that, like, he thinks that he has a decent relationship with this person. He hired this person, and they're speaking like terribly about him. And if I were him, it would hurt my feelings a lot, and so I feel bad for the guy, you know. So let's take a look and see what's going on here. All right. And this, again, remember, Stephanie Jones and Jonesworks, the one who took Jennifer Abel's phone and is allegedly kind of a fucking psycho. I don't know much about her, and I've never heard anything about her really except that she's a fucking psycho. So can't confirm, but someone on Reddit can, apparently, and we'll get into that too. Remember, this is the lawsuit filed by Stephanie Jones and Jonesworks against Jennifer Abel and Melissa Nathan, etc. It was initially filed in the New York Supreme Court, and then it got moved as a related case to the federal court, the Southern District of New York. So where all the other cases are going on. All right. Todd to reader. Sorry, I do not care about this case until we see it in court and hear from the other cast on set. That's fine. But then why are you here at 12:15 in the morning? I mean, that's on you, man. That's not on me. That's on you. I didn't ask you to be here. All right. Okay. Nature of the case. One, defendants Abel and Nathan secretly conspired for months to publicly and privately attack Jones and Jonesworks, to breach multiple contracts and induce contractual breaches, and to steal clients and business prospects. Behind Jones' back, they secretly coordinated with Baldoni and Wayfarer to implement an aggressive media smear campaign against Baldoni's film co-star, and then used the crisis as an opportunity to drive a wedge between Jones and Baldoni, and to publicly pin blame for the smear campaign on Jones, when Jones had no knowledge or involvement in it. To this day, Abel and Nathan continue to point the finger falsely at Jones, now that their own misconduct is coming to light, and to defame and attack Jones in the industry. Baldoni and Wayfarer, who have since parted ways with Jonesworks, have repudiated their contractual obligations with Jonesworks and rebuffed Jones' efforts to settle this dispute privately in arbitration. Now, that to me doesn't mean anything, like I was saying earlier, because we went over the first few pages of this earlier. That to me doesn't mean anything, because you could act like a total fucking psycho behind closed doors and then be like, well, they didn't want to resolve this behind closed doors, That doesn't mean you weren't acting like a lunatic. Okay. It doesn't mean you were being fair. It doesn't mean you were acting like an adult. It doesn't. Defendants will not stop attacking Jones. I have never heard of Jones until this shit. And have refused any efforts to resolve these issues out of court. This lawsuit seeks to finally put a stop to their continued misconduct and to compensate Jones and Jonesworks for the damage defendants' conduct and scheme has inflicted. Stephanie Jones is a highly respected public relations expert. Okay. And then we're just talking about the parties here. So we'll get into the text messages now. Abel and Nathan sprang into action, scheming to bury and destroy co-star Blake Lively to protect Baldoni. Their plan was covert, deliberately concealed from Jones, and went far beyond the legitimate scope of Abel's employment. At the same time, Abel and Nathan were pursuing a far more selfish purpose, tearing down Jones' reputation to take her clients and enrich themselves upon Abel's planned departure from Jonesworks. And then here, this is why I'm saying, do not use your same personal phone number for your work phone number. It's a mistake. So they're just bitching basically about the job. Melissa Nathan's saying to Jennifer Abel, I know once you're gone, we will be on accounts together and make really good money and be happy. Let's just keep it steering that way. And you take this fucking client and never talk to her again. I swear to God. So don't put that in a context or don't have these kinds of conversations where your boss might see it. Not any sincere appreciation for Baldoni was Nathan and Abel's motivation. Don't know what that means. Okay. Abel's candid communications revealed that she, in fact, held Baldoni personally in extremely low regard. And these are text messages from Jennifer Abel, which, again, why would you do this from your work phone number? But I digress. She says, I can't stand him. He's so pompous. A men's retreat during release. Is he crazy? And being off the grid for the summer because he's just so overworked. Calm down. You're not that important and nobody gives a shit how hard your life is. Yikes. She sounds compassionate. He doesn't need a retreat. He needs to be humbled. When this movie flops, he's going to try to blame every person around him for it. He may fire us because even if we put together an amazing campaign, it's not going to change the fact that he's so unlikable and unrealistic as a leading man. There's no chemistry with him and Blake. You and I both know that she will be resistant to promote this movie, and press will be reluctant to do anything with Justin without Blake being part of it. So there, those are my thoughts. Those thoughts should not have been sent from your work phone number. Ma'am. I would not hire this woman at this point. AV says she sounds like a cunt. I agree. I was thinking the same thing. Yeah. Yeah, this is bad. And guys, should we all have exaggerated thoughts about our boss and the people we work with? Sometimes we get extremely annoyed with them because we have to spend so much time with them. They have to occupy so much space in our minds and our lives because we don't have a choice. But if you're a person who works in publicity and this is all tied to your work phone number, and because of the text we saw above, your boss is kind of a fucking nut job. Why? Knowing that there was conflict here between Justin and Blake, why would you do this from your work phone number? That is so irresponsible. That is so stupid. And that is a mistake that should get you fired, in my opinion, but all right. blowing off steam kind of thing. This is so different. No, I agree. It's a blowing off steam kind of thing, right? But don't do that from your work phone number when you know you have a combative relationship with your boss who also and you also think there's going to be legal problems with this guy and this girl that you're working for, and it's just a mistake. This whole thing is just a huge mistake. It's a bad look. I don't like it. God damn. So, star sign. I don't fucking know, man. All right. Months earlier, Abel had voiced the same opinion in connection with the filmed kissing scene between Baldoni and Lively, which was described to Abel as so gross, and revealed that Abel was well aware of Lively's on-set complaints about Baldoni's behavior. It's so cringy, she wrote. His face. And then somebody else redacted wrote, Blake was probably grossed out too. And then Jennifer Abel wrote, yeah, and filed a cease and desist. Which I don't think actually happened. She's just being dramatic there. Which, fine, bitch to your friends all you want, but how stupid. How stupid to do it on your work phone. At the same time as Abel and Nathan were working to protect Baldoni from negative press attention, they were actively working with their media contacts to plant negative stories about Jones and JonesWorks. Here it says, Jennifer Abel says to Melissa Nathan, did you by chance chat with Katie, the journo? Melissa says, no, she's calling me soon. Actually, should be very soon, probably in the next 10 minutes. Conversations between Abel and Nathan show close coordination with Warren, including numerous lengthy phone calls between Abel and Warren. I think Katie Warren is the journalist here. Between July 30th and August 12th. Abel also facilitated Warren's outreach to former clients of Jones in order to further disrupt JonesWorks' business and negatively influence the coverage. This included putting Warren in touch with a client with whom Jones had worked closely for years, bringing her from obscurity to prominence, and who terminated her contract with Jones as a direct result of Abel's encouragement and deliberate interference. Jennifer says, sorry. FYI, Katie is going to try you again by phone to confirm if redacted is a client. I would definitely call her ASAP and say off record she's not, and to not have her included in the piece. On the eve of this article's release, Nathan boasted about the destructive effect this story would have on Jones, mocking Jones in a text to Abel, oh boy, and jokingly suggesting that Abel should tell Jones. So Melissa says to Jennifer, Stephanie, are you aware there is a kill story dropping this week on you? And if you hadn't have blown us up, we would not have been in such a bad place. Abel and Nathan's conspiracy to take down Jones was virulent, I don't know how to say that word, and effective, which they themselves recognized was fueled by society's natural willingness to tear down successful women. All right, I think we're getting a little dramatic here. And they capitalized on this for their own gain. Melissa says to Jennifer, it's actually sad because it just shows you have people really want to hate on women. Interesting. Huh. Because I think in one of the other filings, this same text was used to try to make it sound like they were talking about Blake. But now they're saying in this filing that they were talking about Jones. Which one is it, guys? Kind of shot yourself in the foot there, huh? Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. Jennifer says, I know it is sad, but then, don't be a cunt! Oh, God, she said it. Oh, God. Okay. Well, again, why the fuck would you write that about your boss on your work phone? Don't fucking do that. Just text from your personal phone. It's not that hard. Diandra Kim says, oh my God, what document is this? So this is the lawsuit between the Publicists. So this is what Stephanie Jones and JonesWorks filed against Melissa, Nathan, Jennifer Abel, and Justin Baldoni. This is nutty. I can't believe I never read this before. I can't believe I never saw these texts before. And yes, guys, please, if you could, like this stream just to make up for my lost sleep. Thanks, mods. All right. As her planned departure neared, Abel boasted to Nathan about the damage she... I had to take a break there because I was like, something stupid's coming. Oh my god. Abel boasted to Nathan about the damage she was doing to JonesWorks, her then current employer. God, I can't even emphasize how stupid this is. And Nathan goaded her on. Jennifer says, "We are going to war. I feel so alive." I don't know. She said a lot of ha, so I just wanted to read that dramatically. Melissa says, "Going out of JW with a bang." Once again, to her work phone while she's working for JonesWorks. Says, "Going out of JonesWorks with a bang." Ah! Okay. Abel and Nathan also conspired to ensure that Wayfair and Baldoni would leave JonesWorks and come with Abel to her planned new firm. Here's a text from Melissa Nathan to Jennifer Abel. It says, "Just had a nice conversation with Justin, just him and me. I explained to him a few things." Did you text him on his work phone to explain those things, Melissa? Y'all gotta quit. Y'all gotta quit this. And my conversations with Leslie, he's like, "Don't help her." I'm like, "I'm not helping her. I'm telling her what we're not doing, and she needs to also not do anything." And my last conversation with her was last Wednesday or so, and then I couldn't help myself. I ended it with, "And I'm just going to step out of line before I go to bed and tell you Jen is amazing." Oh God, were you drunk, Melissa? Were you drunk when you sent this text message? I've sent many a text message that sounded kind of like this. Okay. "She's so loyal. She loves you so much, and you have to go with her." And he was like, "Oh my God, of course I'm going with her. Don't kill me. Okay, bye." Oh, she was so drunk. Honey, no. And then she says, "Ha ha ha ha. Oh my God, I love you. Thanks for chatting with him." God, you guys are geniuses. Geniuses here. So this was initially filed in the New York Supreme Court, and now it's been filed as a related case in the federal court, the Southern District of New York. So, yeah. Okay. By the time Jones became aware of the plot in August and terminated Abel, it was too late and the damage was done. Abel had already stolen more than 70 proprietary and sensitive business documents and additional client leads from JonesWorks. Beyond those documents, Abel left JonesWorks with Baldoni and Wayfarer in tow and immediately opened shop at her own competing firm, which she had set up while still working at JonesWorks. She further sought to poach employees in violation of the non-compete and non-solicitation provisions in her contract. And for their part, encouraging Abel to and leaving with her, Wayfarer and Baldoni breached their own contract with JonesWorks and then poured salt in the wound by basically refusing to pay the amount owed. So guys, I don't know about that. I don't see any evidence of that. I don't know how that sort of shit works, but obviously these guys have to file a response to this complaint, which they got a motion to, or an extension on. So it's not going to be for a little bit, but we'll see what they say about all that when it does come out. Anyways, Abel and Nathan's covert takedown and smear campaigns were revealed in black and white on Abel's company-issued phone. Oh, God. I told you not to do that. Following her termination, which JonesWorks forensically preserved and examined in detail after receiving a subpoena for the phone's contents. All right, guys, so the reason I came across this document and was reading this document earlier is because people kept asking about that subpoena. And this is where it came from. So it wasn't in the lawsuit with Justin and Blake. It was in the lawsuit between the publicists. So there was a subpoena. It just wasn't where we thought it would be. And they actually do, if you guys read that transcript from the February 3rd court conference, you can see they were talking about that subpoena during that court conference. So there's the mystery of the subpoena, I guess. So there's a real subpoena, and indeed there is, apparently. So, okay. And again, I'm so mad at this lady for doing all this on her work phone that they could take from her. Like, I'm so mad at her for that. Okay. Jones discovered the breadth and intensity of Abel and Nathan's duplicity from these records, including that Abel was actively encouraging other JonesWorks clients and employees to leave JonesWorks while Abel was still employed there. Abel continues to this day to defame and point the finger at Jones, seeking to dodge the inevitable fallout from her own actions and behavior coming to light. Jones has tried in good faith to resolve this dispute out of court, but those efforts have been met with a complete lack of accountability and stonewalling. And defendants' finger-pointing and smear campaign against Jones still continues. Jones anticipates that she will be subject to even more retaliation and negative attacks from defendants for filing this lawsuit and revealing the truth, but she has been left with no choice but to seek to vindicate her rights through litigation and to put a stop to defendants' harassing and damaging behavior against her. Now, again, I haven't seen any evidence of that. I'm just reading the page, guys. So here they listed the parties. John Does 1 through 10 are unknown individuals who created and published the defamatory websites www.stephaniejonesleaks and as well as more than a dozen fake social media accounts and dark web accounts that defame Jones and Jonesworks. You guys don't think that maybe some people just hate you? Like, what? Hang on. I gotta see if these websites are still up. I got nothing so far. Click allow to confirm you're not a robot. I mean, I guess so. Okay. No, this one's gone. The StephanieJonesLeaks.com is not a thing. How about Stephanie Jones Lies? Oh. What is this? What is this shit? Oh my. Okay. Update 10/21/24. After receiving a notification following another unsuccessful hacking attempt, we decided to have a bit of fun and look into the penalties for computer hacking, as in Connecticut, where Stephanie Jones lives. Hacking. Defined as, I'm not going to go through all that, but you know, okay. We will not be intimidated. We made that very clear. We collectively thought it was about time for a considerable update to check back in. Firstly, we would like to reiterate that this site does not serve as a bullying tactic against Stephanie and her pseudo-Southern Belle Power May act that she uses on her clients while she cries and screams at them while collecting substantial monthly fees for below par fake PR. This site solely exists due to years of the nonstop verbal and emotional abuse that we all suffered through, and some of us still suffer through, and the horrific treatment in the workplace that continued without any intervention. Wow, both publicists on both sides of this lawsuit, not looking good. I mean, wow. The legal threats and letters for wanting to leave, the astounding amount of shockingly cruel voice notes and texts, as well as incessant screaming telephone calls, do not make her tough or a boss. They only serve to bring home what a fully ridiculous tyrant she is. This site is our only place to tell the truth, and none of this she can deny. We have receipts. Whoa. With this in mind, we thought it was time to discuss the public debacle that was the Business Insider expose, which finally addressed the long-standing, not-so-secret toxic goings-on at Jonesworks, linked for ease below. I'm going to read that tomorrow, guys. Not tonight. Wow. As a group, we have our own sources, and apparently, guys, these people are named in this lawsuit. Okay. As a group, we all have our own sources. We've been told that Stephanie was pleased with how this article turned out for her. But we are all here to tell you, Stephanie, that this negative article did not make you look, in your own words, like a badass or a ball breaker. As we all know, Stephanie doesn't understand how to truly do PR outside of leaking her own clients' secrets. So she was unable to assist with this article. She was out of her depth. She hired a crisis PR person. Oh, God, enough with the crisis. Okay. Who helped navigate her through the experience. Good for him, honestly, for doing the best he could to cover the pure nightmare that she is. Guys, who was it? Huh. But to be frank, the article was pretty disappointing to the 40-plus people who bravely shared their story and included current and former staff, current and former clients, and in general, horrified bystanders, and took time to speak to the reporter. Whoa. We don't blame Business Insider. They were in a tough spot. Unfortunately, due to the sheer terror of facing such an unhinged and litigious person, many were not able to speak on the record. This allowed Stephanie and her crisis PR person to use their own single person on the record and respond via a PR representative. What am I looking at, guys? This is like a whole wormhole I need to go down tomorrow. This is crazy. What website was that? It's StephanieJonesLies.com. And these people are named in their lawsuit. The people who made this website. They're named as John Doe's 1 to 10. That's nuts. All right. Let's skim through some more of this, see if there's anything else crazy to go over tonight. If not, then we'll get back to that. Document we were just reading. Oh. Wait, who's Donnie Deutsch? Casual racism. Huh? What is all this? Okay. Nah. This rabbit hole I have to go down tomorrow. I can't. I can't do it tonight. I can't do it tonight, but I bookmarked it and I will go down that rabbit hole tomorrow and I'll let you know if there's anything good there because this is just crazy as fuck. All right. Let's see. Hilarious, though, that they had to name these websites there because I never would have known about that if they hadn't put it in there. Okay. All right, there's jurisdiction. Factual allegations. 1, background on the parties and their contracts. This sounds kind of boring, but let's go through a little bit of it. Hang on. Jennifer Abel. In July 2020, they hired her to work as a publicist with the title Vice President. Okay, they had an offer letter establishing her compensation and an NDA. The Abel NDA contained several provisions relevant to this complaint. Abel agreed to keep confidential any of JonesWorks' proprietary information, including strategies, plans, and financial information, as well as information relating to JonesWorks' clients. Abel agreed that any work product she created was the property of JonesWorks. She also agreed that she would not prepare or assist in the preparation of any articles about JonesWorks without JonesWorks' express permission, would not disparage JonesWorks in any communications with any reporter or any JonesWorks clients, and would not attempt to persuade any JonesWorks client to stop doing business with JonesWorks. Of note, I've not yet seen any evidence of any of that, guys. She made a very stupid decision to say what she said on her work phone, but I haven't seen any evidence of that yet. I'm open to it. So we'll see. These people both seem remarkably irresponsible to me at this point, but all right. We're not going to talk too much about this stuff. Employment agreement. Abel agreed she would not use any JonesWorks proprietary information for any purpose other than benefiting the company. Okay, her work is their property. She would not compete with them for business during her employment or for a period of 6 months after her departure. Okay. She would not solicit any business from JonesWorks clients. Okay. Wayfair and Justin Baldoni. Let's see. JonesWorks began providing public relations services to Baldoni in approximately 2017. When Baldoni founded Wayfair in 2019, JonesWorks also began representing that company. In May 2020, JonesWorks executed a contract to memorialize the terms of its provision of public relations services to Wayfair. The Wayfair agreement provided that JonesWorks would provide strategic communication services in a professional manner. In exchange for these services, Wayfair agreed to pay them $20,000 per month. Wow. That's a lot of money. Can you imagine having that kind of money? Anyways, a 20% commission for any speaking engagements JonesWorks procured and a 10% commission for any third-party agreements they facilitated. Wayfair agreed not to solicit any JonesWorks employees or attempt to induce any JonesWorks employees to terminate her employment during the term of the Wayfair agreement for 1 year thereafter. That seems specific. Okay. I'm probably reading that wrong, but that's fine. The Wayfair agreement provided that either party could terminate it only if the other party material breached its terms and failed to cure those material breaches within 10 days of receiving notice. Huh. Well, all right. I'm so on the site now. What side are you on? I'm seeing... Oh, that one. Okay. Lauren, copy and paste or save. You know I did. Before you go to bed, I don't sleep. Let's be honest. I don't sleep. Here I am doing this. So, okay. Shortly after commencing employment, Abel began working with Baldoni and Wayfair. As time passed, Jones grew confident in Abel's abilities, and Abel ultimately was entrusted as a primary JonesWorks point of contact for Baldoni and Wayfair. Okay. Who's Melissa? Nathan is what they want to say next. Longtime crisis manager who has previously worked at several public relations firms. In 2022, Nathan and JonesWorks engaged in negotiations regarding Nathan potentially joining JonesWorks. The negotiations progressed significantly, including JonesWorks agreeing to hire and actually hiring 2 of her colleagues upon Nathan's insistence. Ultimately, however, negotiations failed and she was not retained by JonesWorks. Okay, well, I feel like the why of that is probably important, but sure, why not? In 2023, Jones witnessed Nathan's approach to handling clients' crises when they worked for a mutual client. Nathan's tactics went far over the line. What does this have to do with the lawsuit? I think you're just kind of being a dick, but all right. Jones recommended that the client terminate its relationship with Nathan, which was separate and independent from Jones and JonesWorks. I don't believe that. I don't believe that for a second, but okay. Jones herself further resolved that she would not collaborate with Nathan for clients in the future. Nathan has seemed to harbor significant animus towards Jones and JonesWorks ever since. All right. Missing a lot of context there, I'm sure. In January 2024, Nathan launched her own firm, Tag. The agency group provides crisis management services to celebrities and other high-profile individuals and companies. And I hope they use separate phones for work and personal stuff. All right, anyways. 2, Abel and Nathan schemed to use Baldoni's crisis to attack Jones' reputation and steal JonesWorks' business. Wowza. All right. Is there a website for that too? In 2019, Baldoni and Wayfair acquired the film rights to the best-selling novel It Ends With Us, written by Colleen Hoover, an author whose books enjoy a vast and devoted following, especially among young women. In 2023, Baldoni began production on the film adaptation. Wayfair was a co-producer and owned the rights to its source material. Baldoni named himself as the director and male lead of the film, an abusive partner to the female main character played by Lively. Later reports emerged that during production, women on set, including Lively, again, we're not naming these women on set, made complaints about Baldoni's behavior towards them, including comments of a sexual nature and inappropriate touching. Now, let's talk about that. Because apparently, Jenny Slate's issue with Jamie Heath was one of those complaints, and that has nothing to do with Justin Baldoni. And I feel like they won't come out and give any more context to these supposed complaints. They won't come out and name these people, obviously. And so I'm thinking, like, it really feels like the complaint by Jenny and possibly whatever other complaint is likely, being mischaracterized in these documents. Like, do they even know what was said? I'm not positive about that. Like, I don't know. I'm not buying it based on what I'm reading here. Again, this is just like blowing hot air. Where's your evidence? Where's your proof? Why aren't you going into detail about that? Well, you can go into detail about the abusive partner character that he was playing, but you can't say more about the complaints or like what exactly he did, Jones later learned that the tensions on set had reached such a point that, after the Screen Actors Guild strike halted production, Lively had only agreed to return to production if Wayfair implemented additional measures to prevent further improper behavior on set by Baldoni. Again, we're pointing this at Justin Baldoni, so complaints against anyone else, they don't really back up their claims here. I'm just going to, again, point that out. So, someone needs to screenshot that all before it goes away. Someone should screenshot that all. Please do it, because I can't do it right now. Oh, man. I'm so tired. Hi, is this document from Stephanie Jones? Yes. They filed a lawsuit, and this is their complaint. Let's see. What is the website? Please give me the website. It was stephaniejoneslies.com, I think, was it? Anyways, moving on. Jones later learned that the tensions on set had reached such a point that blah, blah, blah. The film was released in August 2024. In connection with the release, the press began reporting on tensions between Baldoni and the female cast and crew on set. That's not exactly what happened, is it? That's not exactly what happened, because I actually hadn't heard that at all. The first I heard about tensions between him and the female cast and accusations of any improper behavior was that New York Times article, which was not in August. It was in late December. So, according to reports, Baldoni had acted in a controlling, demeaning, and borderline abusive manner towards the cast and crew, especially towards women. I don't know, guys. If there were any press articles that came out earlier that were saying this, like back in August, back in the fall, let me know. But I didn't see them. And they have to be reputable, right? I'm not talking about TMZ. Like, as much as I read TMZ, yes, as much as everyone else. But, like, I know also that TMZ will publish stuff that maybe there's more to the story. You know what I mean? So, like, that doesn't count. The press specifically identified Lively and Hoover as having clashed with Baldoni during filming and speculated on the unusual circumstance that neither Lively nor Hoover was photographed promoting the film together with Baldoni as evidence of tension. Okay. New York Post. Okay. And then we got page 6. Okay. So I actually just didn't see these guys. Huh. All right. I stand corrected. You know, sometimes I'm wrong. That's fine. Okay. As the release neared, Baldoni began to fear that the increased attention being paid to him in the film would cause reports of allegations about his on-set misbehavior to come out. Abel and Nathan, with encouragement from Heath and without Jones' knowledge or approval, began to formulate a no-holds-barred strategy to discredit and suppress any potential revelations about Baldoni's on-set behavior. So, without Jones' knowledge or approval, are you suggesting that you would not want to protect your client from false accusations of sexual harassment? I mean, okay. Jones, having entrusted the management of the Baldoni and Wayfarer relationship to Abel, trusted that any plan Abel formulated on behalf of Jones Works would appropriately reflect the company's integrity and ethos. Well, there's a whole website called Stephanie Jones Lies, so I don't really know what that says about the integrity and ethos, but all right. Also, guys, I'm just going to run by this real quick. Someone on Reddit said, as a former employee, Stephanie Jones is insane, narcissistic, and way worse than has ever been and probably will be. And obviously I can't, confirm the identity of that person, but to me, that's something that should be taken into consideration since, we're going with rumors and all that per Jones Works regarding Justin's behavior. And that person had some other stuff to say, but it's a different post, so I'm not going to go over that tonight. Let's see. Okay. Unfortunately, the opposite turned out to be true. Behind Jones' back, Abel went around Jones to arrange for Baldoni and Wayfarer to retain Nathan and launch a smear campaign against Lively. On information and belief, Nathan took advantage of this opportunity to encourage Abel to leave Jones Works, to conspire with Abel to steal Baldoni. Well, why do you care so much if you think the guy's a scumbag? But okay. Steal Baldoni and Wayfarer as clients from Jones Works and to smear Jones and Jones Works in the press. On information and belief, Nathan did so because she believed, among other things, that Abel would encourage Nathan's own burgeoning relationship with these and other Jones Works clients, while Jones would not. The scheme ultimately inflicted serious damage on Jones and Jones Works. God, that's confusing, guys. Jones and Jones Works. Jones and Jones. I can't. Okay. Abel and Nathan devised a smear campaign against Lively to benefit Baldoni and Wayfarer. Alrighty. Nathan and Abel's strategy for Baldoni was set forth, in part, in a 4-page memorandum sent to Baldoni, but kept secret from Jones, that outlined several potential scenarios at play here, which we should be prepared for, should Blake and her team make grievances public. Okay. And it says, scenario planning ends with us. I think we've seen this before, guys. Protect the reputation of Justin, Jamie, and Wayfarer in the lead-up, during and following the premiere of It Ends With Us. Maybe I haven't seen this before, I don't know. Underscore the achievement and efforts of the Wayfarer team in bringing this movie to life, and emphasize Justin and the studio's commitment to their team and making the broader industry a more inclusive space. Okay. Overview. Though there are several potential scenarios at play here which we should be prepared for, should Blake and her team make her grievances public via a blatant story or subtle leak, Given she was made to compromise with the premier, we feel she will move forward with doing so. Huh. All right, then. The memo, which along with the overall strategy was kept secret from Jones, explicitly recommended weaponizing Baldoni's perceived history as a longtime activist and advocate of and for women in Hollywood to be used against Lively, and at the same time sought to discredit Lively's negative on-set experiences with Baldoni by painting her in the press as the one who had weaponized feminism for her own benefit. Oh, okay. Here's this. I guess that's more of this document, the scenario planning. Justin has been a longtime activist and advocate of and for women in Hollywood, speaking out about challenges his colleague faced before the Me Too movement even began. These pieces will likely come out following any potential hit piece and or coverage from the premiere. Our recommended approach would be to provide reporters who reach out for comment, should it be obvious she's referring to you, with the appropriate background information, listed in scenario 1, to ensure their stories are balanced, and the speculation can be turned to another one of the many people she's had issues working with. Leighton Meester, Anna Kendrick, Ben Affleck. I didn't even know she had problems with Ben Affleck. Huh, what's that about? You know, I gotta find out. Hang on. Blake cheating with both Ben Affleck and Ryan. Huh? Again, this is a rabbit hole for another time, guys. Sorry about that. I just get so distracted. I heard that Leslie is allegedly the same person as allegedly Jones, allegedly times 5. All right. Let's see, guys. As part of this, our team can also explore planting stories about the weaponization of feminism and how people in Blake's circle like Taylor Swift, oh, we're naming Taylor Swift again, have been accused of utilizing these tactics to bully into getting what they want. Oof. Oh, no. Oh, no. All the fangirls of Taylor Swift are going to hate everyone covering this now that's on Justin's side. Wow. But again, I do want to point out, this is a strategy for it's a scenario planning thing. So it's like, if this happens, if she decides to smear him in the press, this is how we combat that. This is how we try to protect his reputation and his image. I think that's fair. I don't think that is a malicious thing out the gate. It's not like they're saying, let's just go out and attack Blake Lively and see what happens. It's like they're saying, we expect her to behave like an abhorrent asshole, and this is what we need to do if that happens, because we need to protect our guy. I don't see a problem with that. Anyways. Yet this aggressive strategy was apparently still not enough for Baldoni, who texted Abel and Heath that he was not in love with the document they sent out. Not sure I'm feeling the protection I felt on the call. Abel relayed Baldoni's concerns to Nathan, telling Nathan that Baldoni needed a stronger showing of strength, explaining, and this is Abel to Nathan, it says, you can of course do that, but I do think he needs to know I'm going to confidentially send you something he's texting me and Jamie on the side just to arm you before this call. I think you guys need to be tough and show the strength of what you guys can do in these scenarios. He wants to feel like she can be buried. And Nathan responded, of course, but when we send over documents, we can't send over the work we will or could do, because that could get us in a lot of trouble. Okay. And we've seen these texts before, guys, so I'm going to skip over this. Yeah. Melissa Nathan is saying he has to look at it as an information document for us to be armed with. That's it all. Imagine if a document saying all the things that he wants ends up in the wrong hands. Yep. We've seen that. And again, I just want to point out, guys, one of these people is texting on her work phone this stuff that she never wants anyone to find out. And I'm like, please stop. Please stop doing that. Okay. In the days that followed, Baldoni and Heath made clear to Abel that they expected Abel and Nathan's strategy to include a social media activation plan, and Abel and Nathan immediately complied in its implementation. Nathan and Abel's behind-the-scene efforts for Baldoni and Heath also included frantically working to squash emerging media reports about certain human resources complaints that had been filed against Baldoni in connection with the film. What HR complaints? I mean, Sony has come out and said there were no HR complaints. What are you talking about? Again, you can provide screenshots of text messages, but you can't provide evidence of that? Okay. Sure. For example, on August 5th, here's a footnote. Baldoni sent Abel a screenshot of an attack campaign against Hailey Bieber. That's right. Painting her, I forgot about this. Painting her as having a history of bullying many women and told Abel this is what we would need. Okay. Let's see. On Information and Belief, Nathan and Abel also used their industry connections to plant negative articles about Lively and press outlets, including the Daily Mail and the New York Post page 6, and leveraged their teams to create and perpetuate negative content about Lively on social media platforms such as Reddit and TikTok. Now, Reddit and TikTok just don't like you, bro. They just don't like you. I mean, I don't know what to tell you about that. For example, Abel closely coordinated with page 6 with reporter Sarah Nathan, Melissa's sister, to publish an article hostile towards Lively's role in the production of the film. Nathan and Abel enthusiastically supported the strategy that Baldoni and Heath wanted and deliberately hid it from Jones in order to ingratiate themselves with Baldoni and Heath, drive a wedge between Baldoni and Jones, and ultimately to steal Baldoni and Wayfarer from Jones versus clients. For her part, Jones, who was kept in the dark about this coordinated strategy and was not aware that Wayfarer had actively approved and participated in it, objected to Wayfarer's hiring of Nathan and advocated a positive press strategy instead. Okay. Wayfarer's president immediately reported Jones' comments to Abel. Okay, this is from Tara Hanks to Jennifer Abel. It says, text from Stephanie Jones, about the HR article and us hiring Melissa for Crisis. This wasn't planted by Leslie. This is playbook by Melissa. There was no New York Post story. She kept it vague. Melissa's sister works at page 6. We need to flood Zones with positive press and push back on claims. There's no counter to claims in the story. His complimentary sound bites of Blake need to be covered on high SEO sites. Okay. Excluding Jones from the conversation, Heath flatly rejected any pivot to a positive strategy in a text to Abel, suggesting that Jones should be shut out for undermining their strategy. He called Jones' influence on the situation poison. Well, there's a whole website calling this bitch poison. So, I'm going to say it's not just this guy's problem, but that's just me. All right. This text from Jamie Heath to Jennifer Abel says, I don't like the idea that there is continued cannibalization. Sir, okay. From within the same side. I don't think that means what you think it means. Meaning Jones works, i.e. Stephanie and the Crisis team. I only want us to be communicating with people who are working together and not with ones who are undermining others within our team. Stephanie is casting doubt, and that can have an effect like poison. Okay, so I'm going to bed at first. A first for me and forever. Well, you and me both, sister. And I know Jamie Heath sent this text message, but still, you and me both, sister. Let's chat more tomorrow about this. I mean, I don't really think that's that big of a deal, but okay. Abel and Nathan drive a wedge between Jones and Baldoni and attack Jones' reputation in the press. Okay. At the same time as pandering to Baldoni and Heath's desire to discredit Lively, Abel and Nathan were also furthering their own profit-driven agenda to attack and disparage Jones, using many of the same tactics they were using against Lively, in order to eliminate Jones as a competitor and siphon away her clients for themselves. Ironically, Abel and Nathan recognized that their success on both fronts reflected a societal desire to tear down successful women like Lively and Jones, but they remained undeterred in their agenda. Okay, then. This is pandering. Doing their job. Yeah, exactly. Oh, man. This text from Melissa to Jennifer says, it's actually sad because it just shows you how people really want to hate on women. Again, this text was used in a different context and one of Blake Lively's filings. So that's odd. And then again, we're back to, I think they just included this twice because they like the language as much as I do. She says, I know it's sad, but then don't be a cunt. A woman after my own heart. If only she would separate her work and personal phones. Jesus Christ, lady. All right. Abel's trashing of women even extended to Nathan herself, whom she'd privately badmouthed. Oh no! Whom she privately badmouthed just months before, cynically hitching her star to Nathan to steal from Jones. And this is from Redacted to Jennifer Abel. It says Melissa Nathan kind of talks out of both sides of her mouth, and then Jennifer says, "You think?" I mean, that's not like the worst thing you could ever say. But again, the fact that Jennifer Abel failed to separate her work and personal phones, like, and now, like, this is all coming out in a legal context where these people are parties to lawsuits, and of course they're going to read the stuff involved. Like, she's going to have some interpersonal relationship problems from this one. This was a huge mistake. All right. Okay. Yeah. Oh no, it got worse. I'm sorry, it got worse. Jennifer Abel then says, I think Melissa Nathan, she's talking about Melissa Nathan, is a piece of shit. I honestly used to like her, and now I see her for how she really is. Jen! Stop this! You gotta... Oh my god, just get, like, fucking WhatsApp or something. Just... Stop shooting yourself in the foot! Like, she knew there were going to be some issues with all this. She had to know it could have ended up in court. She knew that she was going to stop working for Stephanie Jones and start her own company. Like, why would you do this to yourself? I want to like you, but you're being real dumb. Okay. Working together, Nathan and Abel's stated goal in all of this was to position themselves to be able to steal Wayfair, Baldoni, and other clients. Melissa says to Jennifer, I know, and once you're gone, we will be on accounts together and make really good money and be happy. Let's just keep it steering that way, and you take this fucking client and never talk to her again. I swear to God. You guys suck. You guys suck. Like, the stuff that they put in these text messages where they're like, but we can't put that in writing. And then to see the stuff they put in writing, I'm just kind of like, what are you doing? Jennifer Abel then says to Melissa Nathan, exactly. Okay, so she agrees with her. Great, that's a great look. As Nathan made plain, really good money was the motivating force behind this scheme, not any special affection for Baldoni or Wayfair. Indeed, I don't know why that's relevant to the lawsuit, but okay. Indeed, Abel's candid communications outside of Baldoni and his view made clear at the same time as she was working to salvage Baldoni's reputation and steal his business. She actually held Baldoni personally in extremely low regard. We saw that above, so I'm not gonna... It's so cringy, his face. Oh no. Then months later, Abel was even more explicit in her disdain for Baldoni. Okay. I think we did see this earlier. Hang on. Oh no. Okay. There's one in here we didn't see before. It says, I can't stand him. He's so pompous. A men's retreat during release. Is he crazy? And being off the grid for the summer because he's just so overworked. Like, calm down. You're not that important. And no one gives a shit how hard your life is. And then she says, and what covers he's doing at this point? None, because he's not a star. He doesn't need a retreat. He needs to be humbled. When this movie flops, he's going to try to blame every person around him for it. So we did see 2 of those text messages earlier. To further their plan, Abel and Nathan contrived to plant stories in media outlets, including Daily Mail and Business Insider, to trash Jones and Jones' Works' reputation publicly and to their clients. I don't think that has anything to do with them, possibly, because there's a whole network of people who apparently hate this lady enough to make 2 websites about it. So, okay. For example, following the premiere of the film, the Daily Mail published an article reporting on tensions between Baldoni and Lively. That article relied exclusively on social media posts that had been identified for Abel earlier that same day. Either a shocking coincidence or confirmation that Abel had planted the story. Okay. On information and belief, Abel and Nathan conspired to plant the story in the Daily Mail. First, the negative story cemented Baldoni's need for Nathan's crisis management. Second, they arranged for Baldoni and Wayfair to believe that Jones was the cited insider and created a false story that Jones had publicly blamed Lively for the article, thus sowing discord between Baldoni and Wayfair on the one hand and Jones on the other. The scheme worked. Okay. Josh Greenstein, the president of Sony Pictures, said to Jennifer Abel, Hi, Jen. Been informed you have been speaking to sites about bad blood between Blake and Justin. He was good on today's show. If a negative story breaks, it would hurt the movie. Josh Greenstein. Okay. But Abel denied being the source and instead falsely told Sony's communications team that Jones was the link. This false allegation stuck. Rumors that Jones was behind the article began to make their way back to Wayfarer, causing Heath to respond with hostility. Okay. And this is from Jamie Heath to Stephanie Jones, Tara Hanks, and Jennifer Abel. I am hearing from Sony that, quote, someone named Stephanie Jones has responded out to Daily Mail saying that Blake is to blame, and now this has escalated at all. We were purposely not responding to anything as to not fuel. This has fueled it. Everyone stand down unless I am aware of any moves. I don't care who is supposed to do what. I'm most interested in that. I'm interested only in any strategy being run by me. I need all to understand that. When Jones stated her intent to contact Sony to correct this misimpression, Heath instructed her to stand down. Okay, so Stephanie Jones says, to clarify, I have not spoken to Daily Mail. I also don't believe Danny or Kim at Sony are saying that above. Quote also has spaces as if it was just being drafted. She says, I'm not contacting press, but it is concerning if Danny or Kim are saying I have escalated this, as I haven't even touched this. I'm going to contact them. Jamie Heath then says, Stephanie, as your client and the one who pays for the services, I am stalling? I am stating, maybe? I don't know. It looks weird. I am something to not contact anyone regarding Wayfarer or Sony at this time. If you do after this text, it will be a major problem. This needs to be respected now. Well, did they respect it? That's kind of an important thing. Oh boy. Hang on. Sorry, I just want to take that off. Heath went a step further and threatened Jones directly that he would issue a public press release stating that Baldoni and Wayfarer had terminated Jones' works if she took any steps to contact Sony or others to clear her name, menacingly reminding her that she didn't need that kind of negative publicity for herself or her business. On August 9th, the Daily Mail published another article, this time reporting on Baldoni's abusive on-set behavior, citing insiders. Heath and Abel bragged about the success of this strategy, jokingly referring to the leak as being the best decision of a press tip that Abel and Nathan were accompanying Heath and Wayfarer on. So here Jamie Heath says to Jennifer Abel, best decision of this whole trip, 20 rows separated from the leak. Damn. Okay. In parallel with their efforts in the Daily Mail on information and belief, Abel and Nathan contrived to have Business Insider publish a hostile article about Jones, which was intended to encourage Wayfarer and Baldoni and other JonesWorks clients to want to end their relationship with JonesWorks and to weaken her business. Right. So they were coordinating their outreach as early as July 29th. We saw those texts above. On information and belief, in the subsequent 2 weeks, Abel and Nathan fed information to Warren to ensure she moved forward with the article and that it was sufficiently critical of Jones. This is from Jennifer Abel to Redacted. It says, FYI, Katie, the journalist, is going to try you again by phone to confirm if blank is a client. I would definitely call her ASAP and say off the record she's not, and to not have her included in the piece. Okay. I don't really see what that. Okay. I don't get how that backs them up, but okay. The client with whom Jones had worked closely for years, bringing her from obscurity to prominence. Congrats on making yourself feel good about that, I guess, in legal filing. Terminated her contract with Jones as a direct result of Abel's encouragement and deliberate interference. Okay, but how was that? How were those texts supporting that? Is what I don't understand. In addition, on August 9th, that's my dad's birthday, Abel suggested and asked for Heath's approval to try to get Business Insider to remove reference to a letter of support for Jones that Baldoni had previously written, and to falsely tell Warren that Baldoni and Wayfarer had terminated their relationship with JonesWorks when they had not. Okay. This is from Jennifer to Jamie. It says, just thought about something. Should I try to get Justin's letter removed from Business Insider? I would need to tell her on background that both Justin and Wayfair have severed ties. So not sure if your lawyers would recommend that, as she would need to print that, and not sure if that would cause any issues. This is just Katie asking Jennifer Abel to call her back. The day before it was published, Nathan texted Abel boasting about the destructive effect it would have on Jones and mockingly suggested that Abel should tell Jones. Stephanie. Okay, so Melissa's texting Jennifer, and I think she's trying to make fun of this and say this is what you should say to Stephanie. Stephanie, are you aware there's a kill story dropping this week on you? And if you hadn't have blown us up, we would not have been in such a bad place. Okay then. Again, it was wildly irresponsible to text these things, but whatever, man. Okay. Immediately before the article was published, Nathan texted Abel that she just got a text from my source to say that article is going live imminently. When Abel asked which article Nathan was referencing, Nathan responded, I just shook my head at your response, the only article. Abel responded, oh shit, that article. Warren then texted Abel the minute the article was published to alert her that it had gone live. Damn. Story is up. Thanks again for your help. That's from the journalist to Jennifer. And then she sends a link. Immediately after the article was published, Abel texted Nathan a link to it. The article was highly critical of Jones, including by referencing and amplifying the anonymous disparaging website StephanieJonesLeaks.com, which had been recently posted online by the John Doe defendants. So as I just checked, StephanieJonesLeaks.com was not still up, but StephanieJonesLies.com was still up. So, all right. They accused Jones of having a reputation for aggression and having recently been dropped by high-profile clients. I mean, can you prove that's false? I mean, all right. Unsurprisingly, the negative article about Jones shared a strikingly similar tone with the negative coverage against Lively appearing in the press at the same time. Huh. Imagine that. A strikingly similar tone when talking about two cunts. But okay. In the same vein as the gendered mean girl coverage about Lively. Gendered mean girl coverage about Lively. That's cute. That's cute. All right. That followed the weaponizing feminism script set out in the strategy memo, the Jones article was premised on the same principles, manifesting an equally sexist critique of Jones, who was cast as a tyrannical boss, who could quickly turn combative rather than a successful executive in a high-profile and high-pressure role. Well, all right then. There it is, StephanieJonesLies.com. Somebody says, if anything, Jones trying to show that Abel didn't like Justin is just her trying to get back at Abel for leaving her. Definitely seems that way to me. Because like, what the fuck was the point of that? If it were like Blake's filing, if this were Blake Lively's filing, I could kind of see why they would include that, right? Because that would support her narrative that he was like not great, and even his publicist knew that or whatever. But as far as this filing goes, it's like that really wasn't necessary at all. Like, what are you doing? Just being a bitch, I guess. I mean, incredibly stupid on the part of Jennifer Abel to again write that from her work phone, but here we are. So, all right. This article had serious negative repercussions for Jones. Cry about it. Just days later, Business Insider turned the media storm surrounding Baldoni and Jones more pointedly to Nathan's advantage, publishing a second article that favorably touted Baldoni's hiring of Nathan to shepherd him through this crisis. You sound bitter. In parallel with these articles, John Doe's 1 to 10, who, on information and belief, were acting in concert with Abel and Nathan, published 2 false and defamatory websites about Jones and Jones Works, the websites. First, in the summer of 2024, the Doe defendants created and posted the webpage StephanieJonesLinks.com, which was hosted by Hostinger International Limited. Then after that website was taken down in or around September 2024, the Doe defendants created and posted the webpage www.StephanieJonesLies.com, which is hosted by Namecheap and still remains publicly available. Can confirm. Both websites were viewed and continue to be viewed by numerous third parties, including residents of New York County. Well, You're welcome for my contribution. Both websites contain substantially identical false, harassing, and defamatory statements about Jones and Jones Works. You got to prove that. You can't just say that, right? But not limited to statements that... Oh, here we go. Hang on. Good Lord, I need some water for this. I just know this bitch is about to list off a million reasons why she hates these people. All right. A. There's only 5. That's great. A. Jones bullies JonesWorks employees. B. Jones and JonesWorks interfered with the employment prospects of former JonesWorks employees. C. Jones and JonesWorks leaked confidential client information. D. Jones and JonesWorks coerced clients into taking actions that are not in those clients' best interests. And E. Jones and JonesWorks interfere with their clients' ability to do business. Each of these statements is false. On information and belief, the Doe defendants published the defamatory statements on their websites with knowledge of their falsity, or, at minimum, with reckless disregard for the truth, with a specific intent to harm Jones and JonesWorks in their business by causing them to incur reputational harm and lose clients. All the while, Abel had been making arrangements to leave JonesWorks with confidential information and clients in tow. On July 19th, while still employed by JonesWorks, Abel filed paperwork to create RWA Communications, the competing public relations agency she intended to start. Abel had also created a website and social media accounts for her new competing firm, all while still employed by and under contract with JonesWorks. At least as early as July 22nd, she created a new email account to which she forwarded dozens of proprietary messages from JonesWorks, including client information, JonesWorks work product, and information specifically regarding JonesWorks work for Wayfair and Baldoni. Girl. Like, she really did all kinds of stupid. With this. Jesus Christ. Sunset 87. Justin didn't exactly take that summer off. He was hospitalized. These chicks are evil. No, I agree. There's like a whole lot of stupid going on here. My God. Okay. Abel successfully hid her theft of confidential documents and information. Abel surreptitiously continued stealing documents and client information, while also secretly contacting JonesWorks client to pave the way for her departure. As her planned departure neared, Abel boasted to Nathan about the damage she was doing to Jones. Her then current employer, and Nathan goaded her on. From Jennifer to Melissa, we're going to war. I feel so alive. Ha ha ha. Going out of JW with a bang. We saw those texts earlier. Indeed, when JonesWorks information technology personnel disabled Abel's access to JonesWorks servers after discovering her unauthorized downloading activity, Abel boasted that she was still able to steal all the documents and information she needed to form her own competing firm. From Alicia Jessup to Jennifer Abel, oof, did you get everything you needed before she did all that? And then Jennifer says, yeah, pretty much. I have my way around that shit because I have like hundreds of different emails for each domain that I own, so she can suck it. Abel further coordinated with Nathan and Baldoni to ensure that Wayfair and Baldoni would leave JonesWorks and come with her as clients for her newly created RWA Communications. We went over those earlier. That's when I said this was definitely a drug text. Let's see. On or about August 21st, Jones learned about Abel's ongoing efforts to steal dozens and dozens of JonesWorks proprietary documents, including sensitive client and business information that Abel had no legitimate reason to access, including for major branding clients that Abel had never worked on. Oh, God. Abel went so far as to download and copy the JonesWorks client contract form, except that she replaced the JonesWorks logo with a logo for her own newly formed business. JonesWorks immediately terminated Abel. As part of her termination paperwork, Abel falsely signed a statement purporting to confirm that she had not removed any electronic confidential information from JonesWorks, but of course she had, and this signed statement was untrue. Again, I haven't seen proof of that, guys, but this is just sounding really bad. The damage was done. With the encouragement and assistance of Nathan, Baldoni, and Heath, Abel stole Wayfair and Baldoni as clients. Okay. Wayfair and Baldoni ceased working with Jones Works. Jennifer says to Melissa in this text, by the way, I'm having my offboarding this morning with our chief of staff, a joke, because Steph won't face me, and you should see the list I made of things to bring up. Melissa says, I need the list. Jennifer says, holding them hostage. It's wild. Exactly how business should be done. Oh no. Nor was Abel content only to steal documents, clients, and confidential information from JonesWorks. On August 14th, Abel also attempted to encourage Nathan to poach a valuable JonesWorks employee. Jennifer says, redacted wants $200K. He will come work for you. Told you he's pricey. Yeah, boy. Melissa says, do you think you're serious? And he would do it. Abel also encouraged at least 6 other JonesWorks employees working for her in the Los Angeles office, almost half of JonesWorks employees at that office, to leave the company, including by bad-mouthing Jones to those employees and sending the employees' resumes to competing public relations. Wait, what? She sent their resumes to competing firms? As a direct result of these actions, 2 of these employees ended their contracts and left to work for competitors. All right, well, if half of the employees at that office left the company, I'm going to say there was at least some dual-sided bullshit going on, because, like, if I were working at a company and this lady was coming around saying, like, I'm sending your resumes out to other places, you guys need to all quit working here, and, like, no one else is getting the axe, and it's just this lady, I'm going to think this lady did something crazy. She's kind of weird. I'm not going to, like, be like, oh, well, that's it. I guess I should quit my job. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. There's probably some just, like, really dramatic stuff going on both sides here, I'm going to say. That's my speculation. I can only speculate, so. Can you imagine how much of this happens on a daily basis in Hollywood? I don't know, but I don't want to imagine it. All right. On information and belief, since being terminated from JonesWorks, Abel has continued attacking Jones within the industry, using her tried-and-true playbook to preemptively discredit any sources that might shed light on her own misdeeds. Abel has falsely stated to other participants in the public relations industry that Jones was attempting to distribute doctored text messages purporting to be from Abel as retaliation for Abel's departure. She has also tried again to point the finger at Jones as cover for her own role in the campaign against Lively becoming public. Again, I'm not convinced there was ever any campaign, guys. Even with all the text messages we've seen, not convinced. And has no reason to do so. Abel's text messages were forensically extracted directly from the company phone that Abel used during her employment at JonesWorks and voluntarily returned to JonesWorks upon her termination in the presence of an employment lawyer, JonesWorks chief of staff, and an IT specialist, and have been preserved in their original state. And has become glaringly apparent the text messages are themselves enough to condemn Abel and Nathan without any need for doctoring. Guys, don't put your fucking bullshit on the company phone. Just, like I said, just please separate your personal and work numbers and all that shit. Like, this is just messy. The misconduct by Abel, Nathan, Baldoni, and Wayfair has had a significant negative effect on Jones and JonesWorks' business and reputation, and Jones' good faith efforts to resolve this out of court have been met with resistance, and the campaign of misinformation against her has not stopped. As a result, Jones and JonesWorks have been left with no choice but to bring this lawsuit to seek redress for this misconduct and to remedy the damage done. All right. First cause of action is a breach of contract by Abel. Let's see. What are they asking for here? We've pretty much read everything that's relevant to that stuff there. Cause monetary damages to Jones and JonesWorks and amount to be determined at trial. Second cause of action, tortious interference. Okay. Punitive, warranting an award of punitive damages. Okay, and an amount to be determined at trial. Third cause, breach of contract, and that's the one against Wayfair and Justin. The agreement has therefore not validly terminated, and Wayfair and Baldoni are still obligated to pay JonesWorks $25,000 per month through May 6, 2025. Woof. Okay. On or about August 30th, a representative informed Jones that Wayfair and Baldoni would no longer require their services and refused to pay all amounts owed. Okay. Well, I don't know why they would have refused to pay, but, it's possible that something happened there, like that the other side breached the contract somehow or didn't hold up their end of the deal. So I'm just going to withhold judgment on that. Let's see. Monetary damages and amounts be determined at trial. What's the fifth one? Or the fourth one, sorry. Tortious interference. Didn't we just go up that? Okay. Faithless servant, which that's a very weird thing to read because obviously I'm thinking of fucking Wormtail, like cutting off his hand for Lord Voldemort when I read faithless servant. I don't know. Abel breached her duty of loyalty to JonesWorks through her actions as described in this complaint, including by, among other things, 1, acting against the best interests, 2, accessing, using, and taking for her own purposes and against the company's interests proprietary documents and information, and 3, soliciting, inducing, and encouraging JonesWorks employees and clients to terminate their relationships with JonesWorks. This conduct was intended to, and did in fact, advance Abel's own interests to the detriment of Jones and JonesWorks. 6th cause of action, breach of fiduciary duty. 7th is defamation. What are they asking for here? 8 is defamation as well. Oh, God. Oh, God. Okay, hang on. So we're talking about the websites again. We went through A through E. These false statements included, and then we're getting into the actual statements here. Accusing Jones of years of nonstop verbal and emotional abuse and horrific treatment in the workplace. Well, you better hope nobody can speak up about that. I love you, babe. I'm Z. Hello, Angela. Thank you for joining us. All right. B, Jones doesn't understand how to truly do PR outside of leaking her own clients' secrets. And we did read that on the website. So, see, Jones does not fight for her clients, but she does fight with them. Crying, screaming, keeping them hostage. D, Stephanie Jones takes clients hostage. E, not only does she break confidentiality, she willingly does regardless of the possible damage this kind of behavior might cause. F, implying that Jones was hacking the defamatory websites. Well, okay. I'm not gonna lie, guys. I don't think many people would have ever heard about these things enough for there to be real defamation if she hadn't published it in these documents related to an extremely high-profile case with celebrities. But okay. These statements are false. The false statements published on the websites are defamatory per se, in that they intended to cause harm to Jones and JonesWorks' reputations and business interests. Wow, I can't talk anymore. Prayer for relief. Let's see. Entry of judgment in favor of plaintiffs against all defendants, jointly and severally. Is it severely? No, severally. I don't know. All damages sustained as a result of defendant's wrongdoing, including in respect of each of the first cause, second cause, third cause. You know what? Fuck it. Reasonable attorney's fees and costs, punitive damages, pre-judgment and post-judgment interest, and such other and further relief that the court deemed just and proper. And then there's a demand for a jury trial. So, and then, like I said, the response by the other side has not yet been filed. So, just in case there's any personal information on here, let me hide the screen for a sec. Okay. Because there was some stuff on here that had like addresses and shit, and I don't want to throw that out there. I know everyone can access this anyways, but still. Here's the summons. Yeah, this is all just resident. Proof of residence and stuff like that. Alright, guys. It is 1:30 a.m. And Wait, hang on. Blake made it seem like harassment occurred. Blake made it. Blake made it seem like harassment occurred sporadically and throughout filming, but her most egregious claims all occurred on the same day. Filming for Birth, Bar Dance, and Onesie were all on the same day. Damn, that's crazy. All right, guys, I've got to get some sleep. I have work soon. I was going to say I have work in the morning, but it is Monday morning here. We're on Monday morning. Good night. No, seriously, thanks everyone. I appreciate you, and I'll be back with some more content tomorrow, I'm sure. Talk to you all soon. Bye.